Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle Rednick, and I am a dietetic intern at VCU Health. And today I will be presenting a topic all about legumes. The agenda for today will be as followed. We will start with overview and benefits, serving size, shopping tips, and incorporation tips. Legumes are plants that have edible seeds contained in pods. They are also known as pulses. Legumes provide a lot of benefits. They are nutrient rich and packed with protein, dietary fiber, phytonutrients, vitamins, and minerals, and they are also low in fat and calories, contain 0 milligrams of cholesterol, and are versatile, easy to store, and inexpensive. Legumes consist of lentils, peas, peanuts, and beans. Peanuts are considered a legume. However, most people consider them a nut. Therefore, they will be talked about in next week's Fruit and Nuts webinar. Eating legumes 4 times a week has shown reduced heart disease by 22% in a study of 10,000 men. You should aim for 3 to 4 servings of half a cup of cooked beans, lentils, peas, or 2 tablespoons of peanut butter each week. A fun fact about legumes are that they are very ancient. Some date back to thousands of years ago, and they are one of the first plants to have been cultivated or grown. Legumes come in various shapes, sizes, textures, colors, and taste. They are a great source of plant protein and a low-fat meat alternative. Some examples include black beans, garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils, tofu, tempeh, miso, and the list goes on. A tip is that you should choose more whole foods, such as what is mentioned on this slide, and less processed soy or other protein patties and links. What is protein and why is it important? Protein is a key macronutrient found in skeletal muscle, organs, skin, and blood. It is necessary for repair, recovery, and building of muscle and other tissues. It's important to remember that not all protein is created equal. A good source of protein can still be high in saturated fat and/or sodium, such as red meat, ham steak, and deli meats. Choose protein sources such as legumes, fish, or poultry, and limit or avoid red meat and processed meat to lower your risk of heart disease and other chronic illnesses. Protein consists of 20 amino acids. 11 are non-essential and 9 are essential. Essential amino acids must be consumed in your diet because your body can't make them, unlike the 11 non-essential that are made in our bodies. Muscle growth happens when nutrition and exercise are combined. So don't forget to exercise. When it comes to protein, there are complete and incomplete proteins. Complete proteins contain all 9 essential amino acids, such as soy or soybeans, which include edamame, tofu, tempeh, and miso. Although we will cover legume complete proteins today, we will discuss complete grain proteins such as amaranth and quinoa in the grains portion of this series. Complementary or incomplete proteins need to be paired with 2 of these to be complete protein or to provide all 9 essential amino acids: whole grains, nuts, seeds, and legumes. Examples include beans and brown rice or quinoa, hummus on a whole grain wrap, and so on. The recommended daily allowance, also known as RDA, for adults is 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of actual body weight per day. For example, a 120-pound person needs about 44 grams of protein per day. I will go over how to consume 44 grams of plant-based protein in another slide. So stay tuned. Soybeans are a traditional part of diets in China, Japan, and Korea. though they are grown in countries across the world, such as Brazil, the United States, Canada, India, etc. Though they are grown in the United States, they are not utilized well. However, you should give them a try because they are all complete proteins rich in calcium, iron, protein, dietary fiber, omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, vitamin K, potassium, phosphorus, copper, manganese, vitamin B2, also known as riboflavin, folate, and they lower total cholesterol and triglycerides and have potential bone health benefits and regulate blood sugars. Types of soybeans include dried or canned, tofu, also known as bean curd, edamame, tempeh, soy milk, and miso. It's important when you're buying soy milk to buy unsweetened original flavor to reduce the amount of added sugars. Tofu originated in China well over 1,000 years ago. Tofu provides 10 grams of protein per half cup, is rich in calcium, manganese, copper, selenium, phosphorus, omega-3 fatty acids, iron, magnesium, zinc, and thiamine, also potassium. They are also very versatile. Types of tofu include regular tofu, which consists of extra firm and is best used for stir fries, sautés, baking, grilling, soups, salads, and as a meat or egg substitute. Soft tofu is best used for salad dressings, sauces, and desserts. Silken tofu is best used as a substitute for milk, sour cream, and yogurt. It can be pureed and used to make smoothies. Fermented tofu is seen as pickled tofu, preserved tofu, tofu cheese, and stinky curd. Fermentation involves breakdown of a food's carbohydrate into gases, alcohols, and other molecules via microorganisms such as mold, yeast, and bacteria. And nutrients can be transformed in the process, such as proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients. And fermentation allows for easier digestion and better absorption of nutrients. Tofu can be eaten raw. However, cooking is typically done by heating it to enhance its ability to absorb the seasonings and flavorings. Edamame provides 8.5 grams of protein per half cup. Edamame is fresh green soybeans, which is perfect for a high protein snack to keep you full until your next meal. Tempeh provides 15.5 grams of protein per 4 ounces and is rich in manganese, copper, fiber, phosphorus, magnesium, and riboflavin. Soy milk provides 8 grams of protein per 1 cup. Soy milk is a great vegan alternative to cow's milk and good for individuals who are lactose intolerant. A fun fact about soybeans is that soy protein is better for the environment compared to animal protein because it uses 13 times less land, 11 times less water, and 10 times less carbon dioxide. Miso is a Japanese word that means fermented beans, and it's made from soybeans. It is usually found in the form of a thick paste. Types of miso include white, yellow, red, etc. Soybeans can be used for soup, dressings, light sauces, as a seasoning, spread, salad, marinated or steamed, and ready to eat, such as tempeh and edamame. When buying miso, make sure there are no additives such as MSG and use this in small amounts due to its high sodium content. Check out a miso soup recipe I have provided below. This is a good representation of how much protein and other nutrients are in each soy product. Black beans provide 7.5 grams of protein per half cup, and they are rich in fiber, folate, copper, manganese, phosphorus, thiamine, magnesium, and iron. Garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas, provide 7 grams of protein per half cup and is rich in fiber, folate, copper, manganese, phosphorus, iron, and zinc. Kidney beans provide 7.5 grams of protein per half cup and is rich in micronutrients as well, such as fiber, folate, copper, manganese, phosphorus, thiamine, iron, potassium, and magnesium. Kidney beans are native to Central and South America and come in mostly 2 colors: a deep glossy red, which is popular in the US and Europe, or a light pink, which is popular in the Caribbean, Portugal, and Spain. Baked beans are typically made with kidney, navy, or lima beans, molasses, maple syrup or sugar, mustard and or ketchup, and pork. It provides 6 grams of protein per half cup. If buying canned, choose reduced sugar and sodium. Or you can make a homemade version to control and reduce sodium and sugar content. I have linked a healthy recipe for you to try at home. Fava beans provides 6.5 grams of protein per half cup cooked and are mainly produced in China, Ethiopia, Egypt, and France. Black-eyed peas provide 7 grams of protein per half cup cooked, and they are technically a bean, although called a pea. They have been cultivated since prehistoric times in China and India, and they are traditionally seen in African American cuisine. And as you can see, all of these beans are great sources of micronutrients. Other beans with similar or key nutrients include lima beans, navy beans, and pinto beans. Beans can be roasted and eaten as a snack or used as a crunch in salad, added to soups, stews, tacos, sandwiches, or wraps, made into a spread for toast and sandwiches or as a dip to eat with vegetables, made into a bean burger, or used to prepare chili without meat. Lentils provide 9 grams of protein per half cup. Lentils are great to use to make soup or vegetable soup with lentils, made into lentil yogurt salad. You can puree lentils, and you can make lentil salad or top it on a salad or sandwich. Lentils are a great meat flavored substitute. Here is a chart that shows how many grams of protein are in half a cup of these legumes, as I just went over. This chart also highlights the key micronutrients in each beans and the percent daily value. Green peas provides 7 grams of protein per 1 cup cooked. Types include garden, snow, and sugar snap peas. Split peas provides 8 grams of protein per half cup. They are great to use in soup, as a side dish, and to add to a whole grain such as rice or quinoa. Legumes are a cheaper option for a good source of plant protein, fiber, and overall contain less saturated fat compared to animal protein, as you can see in these 2 charts. Now it's time for health myths debunked. It's a myth that soy causes cancer. Studies have shown that a higher intake of soy is associated with decreased risk of breast cancer, and researchers say soy is safe for women who are at risk for breast cancer, have breast cancer, or are in remission from breast cancer. An increase in whole soy products in childhood decreases overall risk of developing breast cancer, both pre and post menopausal. It's also important to remember that phytoestrogen does not influence risk of hormonally positive breast cancer. It is also a myth that eating plant-based proteins will cause calcium deficiency. Select foods high and moderate in calcium. Reference these examples to the right for amount of calcium per serving. The RDA in men aged 18 to 50 is 1,000 milligrams of calcium. Age 51 and older is 1,200 milligrams of calcium. The RDA in women aged 18 to 50 is 1,000 milligrams, and age 51 and up is 1,200 milligrams. You can notice that soy milk contains 290 milligrams of calcium per cup. Tofu contains 250 milligrams per 100 grams, which is also known as 3.5 ounces. And soybeans contain 170 milligrams per cup, and so on. Calcium can also be found in other plant-based foods, such as green vegetables, which are discussed in other videos within the webinar series. It's also a myth that plant-based proteins cause iron deficiency. Select foods high and moderate in iron and pair them with sources of vitamin C to enhance iron's absorption. The RDA in men aged 19 and older is 8 milligrams of iron. The RDA in women aged 19 to 50 is 18 milligrams of iron. Age 51 and older is 8 milligrams, and pregnant women is 27 milligrams. As you can see on the right, 1 cup of cooked lentils equals 6.6 milligrams of iron. 1 cup of cooked chickpeas equals 4.7 milligrams of iron, and so on. So a great example is to make a bean chili made with tomatoes to help increase iron absorption. Another myth is that legumes do not provide enough protein. I will be talking about this, as mentioned earlier, this meal plan that will help a 120-pound person reach their estimated protein needs of 44 grams per day, which is based on 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. So for example, for breakfast, a person can eat tofu scramble with soy milk using 4 ounces of tofu and 1 cup of soy milk, which equals 18 grams of protein. For lunch, you can eat a 3-bean salad with quinoa, including half a cup of beans and half a cup of cooked quinoa, which equals 11 grams of protein. For dinner, you can have a black bean burger with brown rice using half a cup of cooked beans and half a cup of cooked rice, which equals 9.5 grams of protein. For snack, you can have 1 cup of edamame, which is 17 grams of protein. And the total protein you consumed for this 1 full day of plant-based proteins is 55.5 grams of protein, which is over the recommended amount of 44 grams of protein, ensuring that you are meeting the minimum amount of your estimated protein needs for the day. It's another myth that eating beans is toxic, poisonous, and deathly. Legumes contain a potentially toxic substance known as phytohemagglutinin when they are raw, which is especially true for red kidney beans. However, the risk disappears with heat during cooking, so you do not need to worry that eating beans are toxic, poisonous, and deathly. The important takeaway of this is to never eat legumes raw. Always soak or cook your beans before eating. Here's a breakfast idea and a link for how to make tofu scramble. Here is a handout about all the things you can do with tofu. I have attached a video about how to use and work with tofu as well. As previously mentioned, the average person should consume 3 to 4 servings of legumes per week, where one serving is half a cup of cooked legumes to take advantage of its health benefits. Half a cup serving equals the size of your cupped hand. 4 ounces equals the palm of your hand plus your fingers, which includes 4 ounces of tofu, and 1 cup equals the size of your fist. Make legumes your main source of protein, which would be a quarter of your plate, 3 to 4 times per week to help lower cholesterol, regulate blood sugars, and support your digestive tract. Here is an example of what 4 ounces of tofu looks like, which is the size of your palm and fingers. Half a cup of beans equal 1 cupped hand, and 1 cup of soy milk equals a size of your fist. Here is a lunch idea and a link for how to make a 3-bean salad. Let's talk about shopping tips. Canned legumes can be a nutritious and hearty option. They have been cooked for a long period of time, are easier to digest, and less likely to cause flatulence. Choose no salt added, low or reduced sodium. Rinse with cool running water after opening to reduce the sodium content. As you can see on the left, there is 250 milligrams of sodium in a regular can of beans compared to 135 milligrams of sodium in the reduced sodium can of beans. That is a very big difference. Other tips include purchasing dry beans and legumes, frozen pre-packaged frozen peas, edamame, etc. You can buy refrigerated pre-packaged tofu and tempeh, and fresh legumes such as peas, including snap peas. A tip is to avoid faded, wrinkled, cracked, and evidence of moisture or insect damage in dry-looking legumes. They are likely older and have lost some nutritional value. Frozen legumes can be equally, if not more nutritious as dry or canned legumes and reduce food waste. Make sure you are buying frozen legumes with no additional sauces and seasonings. The legume itself should be the only ingredient. Steam-ready bags tend to be most convenient, although all packaging varieties are nutritious. Attached is a link to a grocery store tour to help make the best decisions when shopping. Here is a dinner idea and a link for how to make a black bean burger. Let's talk about storage. It's best to store the following in your refrigerator: cooked or rinsed beans, peas, and lentils. It's important to store in a tightly sealed container or bag. Tempeh, wrapped well after opening. Tofu, and once opened, keep in a container covered in water. Change the water daily to keep your tofu fresh. Miso, stored in tightly sealed container to help last for up to a year. It's best to store the following in your freezer: already frozen legumes when purchased, such as frozen bags of peas or edamame, cooked beans, peas, and lentils stored in a sealed container, and tofu in its original packaging. It's best to store the following in your pantry in a dark, cool place: dry beans, peas, lentils, stored in a tightly sealed container to preserve their freshness. This way, it allows your dried legumes to last up to 1 year. You can also store canned beans, peas, and lentils in your pantry as well. As mentioned earlier, legumes can be enjoyed in a variety of ways, such as adding more legumes to the foods you already eat. So you can top legumes on a salad, use as a spread on sandwiches, or as a dip with vegetables, used as a main ingredient in a burrito, such as a black bean burrito. And you can also add color to rice or by adding additional legumes. You can keep legumes on hand as a snack, such as roasted legumes, including chickpeas. And this is easy to take on the road and have as a snack. If you need to be fast, you can choose frozen or canned legumes. You can microwave frozen edamame, and they are ready to eat. So, and also ready to eat on the go is beans from a can. You can swap out red meat, fish, or poultry for legumes as your main source of protein. And if you want something warm in the winter, you can make a stew, hearty soup, or chili without the meat. And if you want something cold and refreshing during summer, you can make a 3-bean salad, dip, or spread. Here is a handout about how to use and incorporate canned beans into your meals. Here is a snack idea and a link for how to make roasted red pepper hummus. When preparing beans, clean and rinse them first, then soak your beans, then cook your beans. Here are 3 great soaking methods for how to prepare your beans. And here are some best cooking methods for how to cook your legumes. The way you cook your legumes may affect their taste, texture, and digestibility. Here is a chart to refer to. It's a good idea to make a large pot of legumes and freeze them for later. A tip is to not add salty or acidic seasonings prior to cooking because it alters the cooking time. Acidic foods such as lemon juice and tomatoes slow down the cooking time, whereas added salt increases the cooking time. It's important to drain packaged tofu before using. Tofu that benefits from drainage include firm and extra firm. I have attached links for how to prepare and press tofu on this slide. In summary, legumes are a great plant-based source of protein, fiber, and micronutrients. Complementary proteins consist of legumes, nuts or seeds, and/or whole grains in your meal. Legumes may reduce your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and other illnesses. Legumes are environmentally friendly and of low cost. Legumes can be incorporated into your diet in a variety of ways. You can buy products without added sodium, sauces, or other additives, which is highly recommended. It's also recommended to never eat legumes raw. Make sure to cook and rinse them well before eating. Also, as a key reminder, don't believe the myths. Choose the legumes. Here are a list of my references. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.